podcast live from the Hive.
And we're rolling.
So hello and welcome to our latest careers talk as live from the Hive from Careers Worcestershire. So today we want to introduce you to some of our Worcestershire businesses who are going to share their knowledge, advice and tips to support you in your careers journey. So in this careers talk we're going to be focusing on health and care. Young adults from across Worcestershire have sent in their questions that we're going to put forward to our panel. But before we start with our questions, I'd like our panel to introduce themselves.
Hello, I'm Danny Pardo, Business Engagement Lead at the Point Business Centre at Kiderminster College. As for Kiderminster College related to this talk, there's a range of full-time, part-time, short courses and skills bootcamps in health and social care at levels 1, 2 and 3.
Hello, I'm Liz Buxton and I'm CRQ Leader at Heart of Worcestershire College and like my colleague here, we deliver levels 1, 2 and 3 courses in health and social care, and we are going to be running a boot camp in care management in September for 10 weeks.
Hi, I'm Lorna Brooks. I'm Community Catalyst for Worcestershire. Community Catalysts are catalysts for change in the health and social care sector, and we work with you to create whatever enterprise you want in health and care to help older and disabled people in the community in Worcestershire.
Hi, I'm Kim Sales. I'm the Academy Director for the Integrated Care System across Hereford and Worcestershire, which is part of the commissioning part of the NHS for Hereford and Worcestershire. So I work in partnership with all of our health and social care and voluntary community sector colleagues in our academy model to upskill, bring in new people, bring in new jobs, bring in new careers development, and also I lead on the talent and career conversations and the career planning for all of our staff and all the rich roles in our NHS and in our social care areas across the system.
I'm Shelley Weston. I'm Head of Recruitment for a care company called Bluebird Care in Worcester and Witchhaven, and we support mainly the elderly in their own home.
Fantastic, thank you so much. So thank you for joining us today, and let's get stuck in with our questions. Danny, if we start with you, why should someone choose a career within health and care?
So, to make it very clear, I don't actually work in health and social care myself, but speaking to the employers that I do and speaking to our tutors, as well as being a massively rewarding job personally, a lot of people have gone down the route because they've been influenced by care homes and people they've worked with in the past. So they're able to give back to their local community, they're able to help people, and for me, it's nice that we can give opportunities to people that they wouldn't normally have to open up their eyes to careers in the health and social care sector.
Fantastic, thank you. And Lorna, same question, why choose a career within health and care?
I think I would recommend choosing a career in health and care simply because people are great to work with. And when you're working in health, you make such a difference on a day-to-day level. I'll give you an example. I spoke to a lady on Tuesday who hadn't been out of her house for 2 years. Pre-COVID, she went to loads of different social groups. She was scared because of COVID. And now, because of one of the entrepreneurs I'm working with, she's out and about all the time. And seeing her eyes light up and how excited she was, just to talk about going to Sainsbury's shopping when we've not been out for 2 years, brings real satisfaction to your daily job.
Great, thank you. And Kim, why choose a career in health and care?
Wow, well, the NHS, despite the negative press we have in the national media, is the greatest and biggest employer in the UK, and some of you probably don't know that. We have a whole raft of roles. We have roles in estates and facilities, in catering, in building and maintenance, in engineering. We've got not just your doctors, your nurses, your midwives, we've got healthcare scientists, 57 roles around biomedical science, in biomedical engineering, in pathology, in those lab kind of roles. We've got roles in also linked care navigators, so we do links with the community, so you can work in mental health support, You can work directly with the community services, you can work with schools related services, and you can work in the corporate sector, in finance, in HR, in strategy and planning. And also there's a lot of career development in terms of your pipeline of your talent. So you could start in terms of your BTEC level 3, your A levels or your T levels, and we've now linked apprenticeships into degree level roles clinically and non-clinically. So massive opportunities for you in working in commissioning, if you want to work in a hospital, if you want to work in a community-based area of the NHS, you want to work in primary care, which is the doctors and your opticians and your pharmacists. There's an absolute load of raft of roles. Great terms and conditions too. We have great pension, we have great terms and conditions in terms of total reward, in terms of pay escalation, and it's a great environment around the values. I think I've been in and out the NHS in my life, and I feel proud in terms of all the people that come to work in the NHS have got a moral value of wanting to make a difference back to the people, because we're all people, we're all patients, we're all service users, so we can make a difference.
Great, thank you. And Shelley, why choose a career within health and care?
But like the panel, like Lorna said, we really do make a difference. You can go into people's homes and you are the only people they see every day. So although it sounds like it's cliche or cheesy, you really do make a difference, and you enable people to live in their own home for longer. And like the NHS, it's not just a care assistant, there's managers, there's care quality commission inspectors, admin, recruitment, accounts. There's such a wide range.
Great, thank you. And Kim, what skills and traits do you need to work in the sector?
I think we're very strong on our values, and so values of, again, caring, values of being compassionate, values of wanting to make a difference and work collaboratively with people. Of course, we have to look at our spend because it's our public purse. It's, we all pay into the public government taxes for that. So it's just about having that moral code and that moral duty of wanting to make sure that we're not a profit-making, sector, but we're wanting to pull back those things. Yes, we've got to make savings, but it's about how you can make a difference. So I think those are the key values. We need technical specialist skills, and depending on what your areas, as I've just described, all the raft of different roles. As long as you've got those values, you can work up, you can move along, you can change your role, and maybe I might explain that a bit later about myself.
Great, thank you. Lorna, any skills and traits you'd like to add?
Yes, I think we're quite unique in Community Catalyst because it is all about the values and the ethos. So I'm actually working with a lot of people who haven't got a background in care, they've actually got a background in other things, and what they want to do is change tack because of things like COVID and what they've experienced during lockdown, or maybe they've been carers for their friends or family, parents, etc., and they want to do things differently. So it is about that compassion. And I think you need that compassion throughout the sector, whether you're right at the top in the management sphere or right down at the bottom, supporting people one-on-one. If you have that understanding for people, there's a niche for you somewhere.
Thank you. And Danny, what skills and traits do the businesses you work with look for?
Two things really stick out to me, as well as all the traditional qualifications and things which are very important. Flexibility is one. Rarely are 2 days the same with the employees that we work with, so being able to be adaptable very quickly and to a high standard would be massive. But also willingness to learn, and I hear this a lot, that saying to students, be a sponge, listen to everything that everybody's got to tell you, and do your best to take it on board really, and do your research as well with that. But when people in the industry give you advice, when teachers give you advice, listen to that advice, take it on and act upon it.
Great, thank you. Shelley, any skills and traits you'd like to add?
It's similar really. You've got a caring heart, you're compassionate, it's those values. If you've got caring nature, we can teach you the rest.
Great, thank you. And Danny, what do you enjoy most about your role?
For me, when it's working with the employers, it's giving students opportunities they wouldn't normally have, and this goes back to what Kim said earlier, we have a range of careers there, so whether you're property maintenance, the ability to go and do that in a care home and make a massive difference to people's lives through that role wouldn't normally be thought of in the stereotypical view. And then the students who do work experience and things like that, it's the opportunity that maybe they wouldn't have been able to have that, and if they can do a few days or a few hours even and start to soak up that information, that's what's really enjoyable to me.
Thank you. And Liz, what do you enjoy?
What do I like about care work? I like that there's no 2 days the same. I love the teamwork, the developing and maintaining relationships with service users, just to have a positive impact on their lives. I think that's wonderful. But for me, it was just the variation. I just love that no 2 days are the same, because you just don't know what's going to happen that day. And it's to see somebody. I've worked in adult services and children's services, and with adults it was mainly the elderly, so for me it was to know that I had supported that person to have the best possible life during their final years. You know, I'm proud of my background in care, and I feel like I've made a difference and supported people in a positive way, and it is a really good feeling.
Thank you. Shelley, what do you enjoy most?
Although I'm head of recruitment, I do go out and do care calls, so like Liz said, I'm proud to put the uniform on and go out and support people in their own homes and make a difference and see the smile on their face and have a chat and a cup of tea with them.
Thank you. Lorna, what do you enjoy?
I'm working with about 60 entrepreneurs across Worcestershire who are developing their enterprises, and what I enjoy most is listening to their stories. We have some amazingly skilled people out there delivering care and health support in the community, and I'm really proud to be working with them and helping them do it in their own way, in their own style. And I feel that passion, that real passion for the people out there. What is really interesting is I'm working with quite a few people who are retired, and once they're retired it's like, what do I do now? Well, actually I'm just going to do the same but in my own way. So it is that passion that continues into older life themselves. The oldest person I'm working with at the moment is 69, setting up her own business in care.
Thank you. And Kim, what do you enjoy?
Just said earlier, just the camaraderie, just the fact that you can be part of a team where you're all pulling together towards the same goal. And what I do love about the NHS and health and social care is the richness of the different diverse groups of people, the different professions, how we all come together. So when you're delivering a health and care service, it isn't just one kind of person that is there to deliver that service. It's about how we can all work together to celebrate that success and again share the variety. It's knowing that, for example, with our academy work and the work we're doing across the system around raising and increasing apprenticeships, helping voluntary sector individuals and organisations have more opportunities. And when you see the difference that you're making to that student, whether that student who's 16, that student that's 21, that student that's neurodiverse, the student that's a bit an older adult, it doesn't matter. It's the fact that you're making that difference. And when you see them then get that job, and then you see how they can be linked to an opportunity that sees their growth, and then see how the impact is on that service, it's great. How we can shape services and be innovative. There's lots of innovation coming through the NHS and in health and social care now, and just being part of that and making that difference, and seeing things happen and bringing groups of people together is just a joy.
Great, thank you. And Shelley, is there any challenges that you've faced in your role, and how have you overcome them?
For me, as head of recruitment, COVID was a massive challenge for us, but also a positive because it brought the care sector up, as a good place to work and not just be a care assistant. It's always challenging to recruit people into this sector because, as I said, it's sometimes seen as the last job to go to if you can't do anything else, when actually it's a fantastic sector it's a great sector to work in, and as we've said before, all the different roles that you can do in care is amazing, and I love working in the sector.
Great, thank you. And Kim, can you tell us about any challenges you faced in your role?
Yeah, I think there's always going to be those sort of corporate politics. There's the big politics, obviously. You know, we're running services through public sector money, so we're governed by, you know, the national politicians, and you know, we've got all these cuts and these savings, and I think that can be a little bit frustrating. But I think, again, it's about how you pull together and how you maximise working together to mitigate those things. I think there can be constant changes, and going back, you know, to what Danny said earlier, being agile and being flexible, I think is really important, to still know that whatever you're doing is going well, rather than, you know, you might not feel it's going well, but it is going well. And I think you want to be somebody with those values to come in, and being part of that, you will help make a difference, as I said, as long as you've got those values. But you've got to learn to be resilient, I think. I think I've learned to bring a kind of group of allies together with me as my little group to support me, just to support each other, really. But that's the great thing about what we work, because we're so compassionate, and we're so caring to each other, to not just our service users, but to each other. I think that's how you pull together. So, but it's about making sure you learn that. But you know, our new generations, they want agility, they want flexibility. This is the place to come.
Great, thank you. Lorna, any challenges that you faced?
Yeah, personally, I'm not so much a challenge, but I think with my entrepreneurs, when they're setting up in business, there's two things I think about. First one's dead simple, it's setting up self-employed, whether you want to be a charity, a CIC, sole trader, and there's so much information out there, and my role is to help them with that. So if anybody, as a young person out there thinking, I'd love to do it for myself, but I'm scared, that's fine, just come work with me and we'll sort through life. And the other side is people are concerned about getting clients. How can I find people out there to support in the community, because they are all based at home? And to any young people out there, you've got more of an advantage to a lot of my clients, because you understand social media. And social media is where you will find your clients. You just need to be aware of how you use that to build up your enterprise. So the challenges our entrepreneurs face are setting up a business, what will it look like, and then where do I get my clients from? But those who overcome those challenges are absolutely thriving in the community now.
Thank you. And Danny, any challenges faced by your businesses or the students that you work with?
The main one that comes to mind that we speak of quite a bit is the raising awareness of careers in the health and social care sector. We're doing more and more work with employers to then work with them in schools, so that people, say at the year 9, year 10 during option times, and then towards the end of GCSE times, are then fully aware of what's available to them, and then if they are aware, is that something they want to work in, how do they do that, and where do they go to for advice and guidance. So certainly raising awareness is one of the challenges with us.
Thank you. And Liz, are there opportunities for careers progression within health and care?
Oh, absolutely. And I think it's a bit of a misconception that if people go into health and social care, there's nowhere to go. But actually there's lots of things, different progression routes in health and social care. For example, I went into care with no care related qualifications. It wasn't what I intended to do. But when I became a carer, then I did my level 2 diploma, and then my level 3 diploma, and then I did my manager's award and became a manager. So there are lots of progression routes for people who maybe want to run their own home, for the elderly, or for a disability unit for young adults or adults. But there's side steps as well. I mean, the people that I've worked with since I've been working for training providers have all started in a care home and done their apprenticeships or train to gain, or whatever it was years ago. And they may have progressed to the management level, or they may have gone a completely different route. I've had lots of people that I've trained who've gone into nursing, they've gone into social work, therapists, counsellors. So there's lots of different branches from health and social care that you can go to. It's a massive, massive area. I've worked with people who don't just work in, say, rest home or nursing home. They work in women's centres and prisons, and it's absolutely massive. And I think we need to break down that misconception that working in health and social care is working in a residential home and handing out tea and cake, and you know, it's so much more than that.
Great, thank you. And Lorna, anything that you'd like to add about career progression?
Yeah, really, I suppose working as an entrepreneur, it's whatever you want it to be. Because we only work with small and micro businesses, we only work with people who've got 7 to 8 staff. But that's just really the beginning of it. And if, for instance, I'll give you an example. I've got a young lady from Redditch who's just started her own healthcare enterprise, and she now has 3 members of staff. So not only is she delivering healthcare herself, but she's learning about how to employ staff, how to manage staff, and how to ensure that they retain those quality standards across the whole team. So it is about all that's, you know, looking at what you want from your enterprise and making it happen with our support. And I think Liz is absolutely right. If something doesn't work here, go that way, because there's so much choice out there. It's about finding what makes you tick, what is your passion, because if you're not passionate about something, you really won't drive it forward.
Thank you. Kim, anything you'd like to add about career progression?
Well, absolutely. You can go through the more statutory or more formalised route if you want to go into more of those medical or clinical professions. However, the great thing about the medical professional route and the nursing and the allied health professionals, occupational therapy, physiotherapy, speech and language, all these different roles, healthcare science, any of them, you can actually start at the, you know, sort of doing T levels, going into an apprenticeship, and you can work your way up. So we're now introducing nationally a new role called physician associates as an entry level into becoming a doctor. If you become an occupational therapist, you can move into enhanced or an advanced clinical practitioner, which sits in between clinical and medical professions. And then, as I said, you can move across. We've got the graduate management training scheme nationally as well, in terms of fast tracking management, so lots of ways.
Great, thank you. Shelley, career progression?
Yeah, I think as everyone said, it's massive for us in the care sector. You can work, I'm a head of recruitment, we have accounts, we have registered managers. We're also a great stepping stone into the NHS for paramedics or becoming a nurse. So yeah, lots of opportunities.
Thank you. And Danny, anything you'd like to add?
I would go back to what Kim said earlier. Kim, you've got that little book.
I have.
So I am going to go somewhere with this, I promise you. So my 8-year-old daughter saw one of those because I'd pick it up from a careers fair. She read all the way through it and has now stopped as a paramedic because that's what she wants to do. Now, granted, she's 8, but in terms of taking the time to read and look and ask, that would be my advice, because as we've said, you know, there are so many out there, and would probably be, well, it's highly likely there'll be ones you've never thought of that may be right for you. So read, look, use the information that's already been provided, and really find out what's available to you.
Thank you. And Danny, can you tell us a little bit more about the courses that you offer at Kiderminster College?
Yes, so we offer courses from level 1, 2 and 3. There are full-time and part-time courses across health and social care. There's an access to HE for medical practitioners course as well, but runs part-time and full-time. So whether you are your traditional 16-year-old school-leaving student, or if you are looking to get into the industry a little bit later on in life, then you can do that as well. And we'll have skills boot camps in health and social care starting in September as well.
Fantastic. And where can our audience go if they'd like a bit more information about those courses?
So for those courses, the Kiderminster College website, all the social media channels, if you do a quick Google search, and you'll find everything you need to know on there, as well as keep an eye open for open days, open evenings, or just contact the college anytime, and there'll be staff around, maybe even me, to help you out and answer any questions you've got.
Great, thank you.
Can I just also add just a little bit with what Danny said? We've got our new integrated care system, ICS Hereford and Worcestershire website. So I'd really, if you want to post them up, colleagues here hopefully will send that information out. We've got a brilliant set of pages which is about recruiting our people. So we've got information now in terms of all the NHS careers information in one place. We've also got information on all of the careers fairs, college events that we're putting on. We've also got links into all the apprenticeship roles and all the information we're also promoting on work experience and volunteering. So you might have another job, you might already be studying something, but you could come and work and become a volunteer in one of our hospitals. You could come and become a volunteer in a care home. You could also get some work experience. So I'd absolutely promote, just go for it. Just write those letters to your HR departments or your learning development departments in any of the care homes or the Worcestershire and Hereford hospital trusts or the mental health trust, and they have work experience programmes.
Great, thank you. And Liz, can you tell us a little bit more about the courses Heart of Worcestershire offer?
Yes, so very similar to Danny, actually. So we do the a level 1, level 2 and level 3 study programme in health and social care. We also deliver mental health awareness as a short course. It's classed as a short course, but it's 13 modules, so it's a large short course, but it's very, very interesting. We're also working on bespoke programmes around care, so maybe somebody doesn't want an accredited qualification, they may just want bits from the mental health qualification, bits from a diploma, and we're creating bespoke courses to meet employer needs. So that's an exciting thing that's happening at the moment. In September, we are running a boot camp in care management, and that will be over 10 weeks, and it'll be 1 day a week for those 10 weeks. And anyone that's interested, whether you're working in care at the moment or you fancy a role in care, please look out for that, because it's a brilliant opportunity to have an idea of the fundamentals of care, but also what is expected from a CQC inspection. So again, we're really excited about that. If you want to know more about everything we deliver, there's the college website, there's also social media, Facebook, LinkedIn, etc. Also our open events, evenings and days, they're publicised well in advance on social media and the college website.
Great, thank you. And Lorna, where can our audience go if they're interested in working with community catalysts?
Well, I'd say even if you don't have a Facebook page, because we are that bit younger and prefer Instagram, see if you can jump on your mum and your dad's Facebook page. We're Comcats Worcestershire, so community catalyst is such a mouthful, I can't even say that, a mouthful, that we shorten it to Comcats, COMMCATS. So have a look out for Comcats Worcestershire, and you can find all our details there. And what I would say is a couple of things really, just to finish. First of all, we really do need young people to get involved in our project. I work with some people with learning disabilities from a very early age, 16, 17, 18. I matched someone to take their client to the pub in Wye Forest because he wanted to go to the pub to go out for night time, but he needed some confidence. So matching an 18-year-old with someone that I'm working with is difficult because a lot of the people I work with are older. So if you'd like to think about it, please do. And the other thing is, even if you just want a conversation, and we can have that conversation. And if it goes nowhere, if you decide, well, actually this isn't for me, I don't have the passion to work for myself, that's fine. But let's have that conversation first. So jump onto Facebook, contact Worcestershire, and you'll see my details there.
Thank you. And Kim, is there anything you'd like to add for those interested in working within the NHS?
Yeah, so when you develop your career, as I said, you can move along from a clinical role or a medical role into maybe a managerial role. My story is I didn't start in the NHS, I was a teacher, would you believe? And then I worked, because of my passion in education, working in sort of local authority councils, basically, in leading on education programmes. I had that passion to then make a difference in the NHS. And then I moved into the voluntary sector. So you can work your way up through the various different management qualifications or other additional qualifications you might want to go into. When you get into the NHS-based services, and that includes primary care, that includes like your doctor's surgeries as well, because they do training and development. You have a talent management career conversation, you have really good appraisals, and we look after you in terms of your learning and development. So there's extra continued professional development where you can move up or move along. So I just say, don't think that the job that you think that you could start off with might be the job that you get later in life, because there's so many rich elements to you as an individual and your talents. And I think that's the thing. And I also want to say that to those colleagues who maybe are underrepresented in our communities, we have flexible ways of early entry levels to enable you to see that it's not just those traditional university degree level routes into health and care. We're very, very inclusive. So we're very hot on, our black and ethnic minority communities, because we're all part of rich, diverse communities. We're part of the we want to really see that neurodiversity is a talent as well. You can go into clinical coding, you could be going into digital, there's a whole range of different things. So I think it's about, as said earlier, do your research first, and then maybe try and pull that into something where you can talk to a careers advisor, talk to somebody, even get a mentor, even write a letter to your local healthcare organisation and say, oh, could somebody maybe be my mentor through my career journey? If you don't ask, you don't get. So just go for it.
Thank you. And Shelley, where can our audience go if they're interested in working in Bluebird Care?
They can come to me at Bluebird Care. We're still in Witchaven. We've got a Facebook site, we've got Instagram, we're on LinkedIn, we've got a web page, and also in the care sector we have Skills for Care, which has lots of different opportunities.
Great, thank you. So finally for today, Shelley, any final words of advice for our viewers?
I think a lot of us, I fell into the care sector, health and social care sector, because it's not promoted, it's not seen as a career when it really truly is. It's a fantastic career to go into. It's flexible, it's just and it's very rewarding.
Great, thank you. Kim, any final words of advice?
Just know that whatever you start with on your desires of your career journey might not be the way in which you thought it might be at the end. And that's a good thing, not a negative at all. There's just a huge raft of opportunities where you can utilise your skills and show those skills. So this is just the start.
Great, thank you. Lorna, any final words of advice?
Yeah, we mentioned volunteering briefly, and I would say my career background is in the voluntary sector. So I've worked for the Red Cross, Stroke Association and Papyrus for a few examples. And I really would recommend having a look at the charity sector for work experience and volunteering. Not only is it great on your CV, but a lot of what is delivered out there in health is delivered by the charity sector now. It's the way we work in the integrated service that we've been talking about. So there's also that aspect as well. Have a look what's out there for charities. Most districts within Worcestershire have volunteer centres that you can talk to about the opportunities. And if there isn't, just drop online, because there's loads of stuff on the We Do website.
Great, thank you. Liz, any final words of advice?
Really just to reiterate what's been said, and that was really interesting what Lorna just said about the charities. I would just say if anyone wants to pursue or at least look into a really varied career with lots of scope and lots of opportunities to progress, to go in this way, that way, whatever, it's absolutely huge. Go for it. You can speak to any of us at college, you could do a full-time course, you could do a work-based qualification and get trained on the job. There's just so much to do, so certainly pursue it. If that's what if you want something that's exciting, interesting and varied, look for health and social care.
Thank you. And Danny, any final words of advice?
This is a challenging question going last on this one, but I'll give it a go. So, firstly, re-watch this video because there's been some amazing advice, from the table here with regards to that, and I mean that seriously. This is a great opportunity to listen to people who have been there, done it, and are willing to help you to do it yourselves, and also to follow organisations on social media, and I understand how important social media is to a variety of generations. You've heard the names of organisations today, so follow those organisations, but follow charities, follow the NHS, follow the colleges, follow your local care homes. A lot of them have Instagram, Twitter accounts, some have even gone down the TikTok route. So follow them, see what it's like. They have career profiles and meet the staff members and things on there. So take advantage of that free resource that is so easy to access, and follow the right people on social media. That'd be my last word.
Thank you. So we've come to the end of our questions for today. So thank you again to our panel for joining us, and thank you to our audience for watching.
Bye everybody, bye bye.